Mr Deputy Speaker, and I congratulate the Right Honourable Member for East Ham on securing this debate. I think it's fair to say he's well regarded on all sides of the House for his approach to these issues and his expertise on these issues as well, which I think was reflected in his opening remarks and in his report, his committee's report. I wanted to speak in this debate because I think the performance of DWP in this period has been one of the unsung successes of this period. And in seeing an increase between February and August of claimants from 2.9 million to 5.6 million, there are a few services that saw that level of increase. A lot of services saw a decrease, some saw an increase. Obviously, the biggest pressure was on the health service, but few saw that level of increase in this period. And the fact that 93% of people were paid on time is a huge achievement. I accept if you're in the 7%, it's very distressing. Although I know from my own constituents that sometimes those delays are caused if the department doesn't have all the information it needs. I don't say that's all of it. I'm sure there have been some things that have gone wrong for that 7%. But I wonder how many services, public or private, could claim a 93% success rate in the last decade or indeed the last 2 or 3 decades. And I do pay tribute to the DWP staff. I was at the job centre in Didcot just last week again, and their commitment and their dedication to make sure that every job seeker gets the right support is hits you in the face the moment that you walk in. Yes.
Giving way for his kind remarks, does he think they should get a pay rise?
I think we could make the case for all public servants to be given a pay rise at all times, but of course we have to keep a good control over the support that's been over the expenditure that government gives on behalf of taxpayers, and considerable support has been given, one of the most generous packages in the world through the COVID period. So I think that has to be taken into consideration about the pay rise. And of course, some public sector workers are getting a pay rise. In fact, I think the majority still are. But there also has to be some credit, I think, to the ministerial team in the way in which they work flexibly, in the fact that, whether it was bringing forward the use of government gateway identification by 6 months, whether it was suspending the conditionality on job seeking for this period, all of that mattered and played an important role. And I think that some of the criticism that has been made of the DWP are about things that I think are reasonable. So I think it is reasonable still to require evidence of health conditions if you want to claim health-related benefits. I accept the point about digital literacy and not everybody having the right level, but on the other hand, we wanted a system that was quick and easy to access, and we were keeping everybody inside. And so I think that probably affected a small minority of people. I don't say it was insignificant. And some of the other criticisms, I think, are about problems that people have with the system as a whole, like the benefit cap or no recourse to public funds. And I don't say they haven't been exacerbated, but I think those are broader questions than just about the performance of the DWP during this period. And some of them I agree with, because I think the delays on mandatory reconsiderations, for example, something I see myself, are a problem, and we've got to sort that out. And I know the department's committed to doing so, and the faster it can do that, the better. But I think after health and education, the DWP had tremendous pressure placed on it, and the reason we've heard a lot less about it is because things have gone so well. Not everything, but we've heard a lot. Is a service that has gone a lot better than could have potentially been expected at the outset of this crisis, given the increase in the number of claimants. And that's backed up by the statistics that we know that the bottom 10% saw no reduction in the income level that they received. And the government's package overall reduced the scale of losses by up to 2/3 in a number of cases, in the majority of cases for working people. So I think it should be commended for this. I think it's got some big things on its plate, like the Kickstarter program, which I take a particular interest in, given my previous work with young people, like this new Restart program, and I think it's right to target those people who've been unemployed for at least a year. But I think what we've seen so far bodes well for how it will deliver those programs.
When did